You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Deuce. We definitely in the building all day, every day. Rocking with your boy. Like I said, C1Music.fm. Tonight, we are in the building. Today is July 22nd. Yeah, I want to apologize to everybody. I was supposed to have my questionnaire and all that other stuff, the topic title and everything up last night, and I didn't get a chance. I don't know, for some reason with me and V, wasn't able to do it. So, yo, we in here though, C1 Music style, and we got the freaky music going on in the background. But we gonna get it poppin', yo. C1 Music, get at you, boy.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
It's been estimated that every year, anywhere from 700,000 to 4 million women and children are forced into sex trafficking. Unfortunately, this epidemic grosses about $7 billion annually. This is their story. Yeah, there she goes into the night again, and ashamed of what her life became, but she can't escape it now. She's in it too deep. If she could have her the way, she'd be out of these streets. But every night she's on her knees to pay a pimp, promising to give her everything she needs. Hard to believe that she came from Queens, not the borough but the type that was married to kings. Now STDs are scarring her health. Every time she has sex is like losing another part of herself, and it's a shame cause the only thing she got is herself. Parents see her as a slut, but she crying for help. But nah, nobody hears her silent screams. Her reality is more like a violent dream, seeming like she can never awake, but just open her eyes to see that she never escaped from here.
Could've died from all the hurt, all the cries that go unheard, all the cries that go unheard. This life wasn't meant for me, no, I just wanna be free.
Yeah.
Be free.
15 with a killed dream, self-esteem wasted in the streets of the Middle East. A slave to the sex trade, so inside she's bitter. Ever since her mother sold her to the highest bidder. Incest, rape inside of me, she's drowning inside of these afflictions. From the first kiss it's been robbery. Mental pics of her bodily images making her sick. Wishing she was different from what her eyes see. Carrying a heavy load and forced to walk a path she would've never chose. On the road so low, in search of a freedom that she's never known. Now she's dreaming of being dead and gone, trying to find comfort in a bed of thorns. Smelling like every man she's ever met, and reflects the shell of a woman left for dead.
Could've died from all the hurt, all the cries that go unheard, all the cries that go unheard. This life wasn't meant for me, no, I just wanna be free.
Yeah.
Be free.
Yeah, it's like survival of the fittest, but they not, so it got this pen crying for my sisters. Every day the same thing, just more resentment. We just move on, ignoring the epidemic. The story the media won't mention, like it really doesn't need that much attention. But trust me, it ain't that hard. You can hear the screams coming from my own backyard if you just listen for a minute. I know the truth hurts. Who would've thought that ignorance would be this bliss? We can turn the blind eye but can't dismiss the darkness hidden behind the lipstick. This here is for every girl in the struggle, feeling muzzled by a world that won't love you. Tired of them ignoring your worth, but believe me, your story is heard. The story is her.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
Yeah. Turn the beat up just a little bit. I'm making tracks doing 65 on the interstate. I'm introspective, the vision rising like interest rates. Focused on trying to right my wrongs, but the pencil breaks. Without a question, I'm standing tall with a picket raised. Full of conviction, I'm focused on our social sinning. We drawing close to the wealthy, boasting the cost of living. And shy away from the underdog when it's small beginnings. To get your hearts in the air, new wars beginning. Yeah, if they popular, then they sworn in. But if they not on the top of it, then they sort of friends. Fair weather, the caregivers of distorted trends. Shame on us, his name is on us, the born again. From the outside, killing it in the strictest sense. Somebody tell me what the difference is between a Christian and a Muslim if we can't settle our differences. And the love of Christ is not the emphasis.
This is the moment we part ways.
Let it go.
Cause this is the road you chose to take. But wait, what about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love?
Finally I can see it all with my open eyes. Living right and being partial can't coincide. Haves and the have-nots, polarized. And what you got in your pockets is where the roads divide. Classism, they dropped you off at a private school. Raised up in the climate where only knowledge rules. Mama chronicled the honor rolls. The college roll seems to be paying off. Now you watching your dollars roll. Yeah, a couple stacks make you think you better. You standing over their shoulders, feel like you on stilettos. But they ain't God, that's the devil. And I'm talking to the saints that only bang with the people they think is on their level. Yeah, I guess the world is rubbing off. If people can't benefit us, then we shrug them off. If they standing outside the circle, we cut them off. I'm saying, Father, please help us all.
This is the moment we part ways. Cause this is the road you chose to take. But wait, what about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? I know me and you ain't the same.
God is after a holy nation associated with lowly people. We so mistaken that fornication's the only evil. Don't get me wrong, I know God is holy, we going deeper. If only Christians can reassess what we know of Jesus, that he can free us from our legalism. Help us to see when our mouths do lead us to breed division. Lord, teach us how to love our neighbors. The reasons given, unbelievers can see our Jesus and be forgiven. Yeah, so let us love, y'all, let us love. And show the whole world Jesus shed his blood. Man, we overdose, perception is a drug. Everybody want acceptance, we profess the love. So let us run towards all the overtaking, towards the broken Jesus spoke of in his opening statement. I'm talking love over hatred, equality for all the hopeless that is so forsaken. Oh, for grace to love you more, that's my motivation. Self-righteousness is the motive Satan. Shit, loving me when I'm hot is so overrated. I hate it. The love of Jesus is for all, even those that hate us.
I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? I know me and you ain't the same. What about love? Come on. What about love?
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
Yeah. Awakened from my slumber by the thunder, lightning clapping. Raining on my window, painting, praying I make something happen. A preacher's prophecies never bothered me when I was younger. Sitting on my grandma's lap, and she cried, I often wondered, what was her tears for? Could it be for my grandfather? Or maybe she felt for me cause I see more of those cold tomorrows than she see. The world will up and turn on me cause the morals that she often spoke were meant for 1923. I fall asleep off in her arms. My song was spoken, the Lord is surely my shepherd. He'll lead me to the water, thought that often stuck with me. Amongst the wolves that run the streets, I hear paying dues and lose. I pray your angels come for me. A non-belief I never had and never could be. Lord, give me time to peek the signs I should see. Sipping got me feeling like a player, riding clean, bending corners, hoping I might find my savior on the curb. I rarely go to church, false prophets rocking Prada, so I rarely feel the word. Jezebel's lurking in the pews on the first. Preachers weaker than the deacon cause it's hard to fight the urge. It's hard to live and serve when you on the devil's turf. Sell your soul for the Lord with no sense of what it's worth. Don't get it twisted, I ain't no saint, I ain't no pastor. But praying just for cloudy days and natural disasters. Beware what comes after. Bet you ain't for sure. I was warned that heaven ain't the only place to go. I'm doing what I can cause there really ain't much time. I leave this in the Lord's hands. I'm tired of crying. Forgive us for we know not what we do. Am I biased? I've been pious with my nose up in the pews. Like Paul, I bear good news. They think I'm pile-bearing. My message sounds like death to these hearers as they perish. Scary to think we on the brink of death, but no one stops to look for answers on what happens next. Got a couple scriptures from my grandma, sayings from a preacher, but can't live out these standards that we heard it takes to reach her. But when I look at Jesus, he lived a life I couldn't. Suffer for my crime so I wouldn't. I used to have to sneak into the movies cause I couldn't afford to pay. Explain to me how someone paid my way. When I hear Crit confessing, I respect them, cause most of us be lying like our lives don't need perfecting. Nothing that we can muster, nothing that we can change. Admitting that we're imperfect, offending God with our games. Look, I'm just being honest, so don't take me for no lame. I seen it for myself, I'm a product of this thing. Now I found true religion, and it's not inside of denim. And them overpriced shades have never given us vision. Let's go.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
C1Music.fm, familiar. It's your boy Dearest. We definitely in the building all day, every day. You know how we do. Sitting in here trying to get it right. get my squad up in here. First off, I want to give a shout out to Joy. Joy, you here with me, Joy? Joy, you there? Hey, Joy.
Yes, Mr. Robinson, and I can hear you clearly.
You can call me Deuce on the air. This is C1 Music .fm. We got a special guest. She doesn't know yet, but we're going to get her right. And we got, let's see here. I got my other two panel. Who's this? Lovely and Tito?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
We got Lovely and Tito in the building.
Okay. Hi.
And let's see here. We got Carm in the building.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Well, I'm doing good here, but...
Hold on just a second. I got two other girls I want to get in there. Got another special guest. Let me get him in. Let's see here. Grace?
Yes.
Grace, you didn't call the number, Grace. I was trying to get you on. We on air right now. You got to call the number to call in. You was talking while I was doing my music. That's the reason why I had to let you go off the call. But
Oh, sorry.
it's all good. We in here. You in there with the panel.
All right.
You got Tito in here.
Mm-hmm.
And
My man.
my man is in here.
All right.
And we got, let me see. So let me just make sure. Let me do the tally on who we got in here. We got. Is Tito here? Tito.
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
All right, Tito's here. Lovely. I don't know. Everybody keeps dropping a call for some odd reason. But I got Grace and I got the homie Joy and I got Carm in the building. Carm, what's going on with you? How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing good here. Oh.
And Carm, how you doing, Carm?
I'm doing good.
I'm fine, Piper.
Good. I'm trying to get the other caller in, see if I can get them in the call real quick. And after that, I am going to get started. Did everybody get the questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is actually a topic that we talked about on the radio before. So I want to kind of talk about it again. But, if, you guys can definitely tune in and follow along. And so let me blast off by letting y'all know we are on the YouVersion network. I'm gonna try to speed this up as much as possible. I kind of was wasting time trying to get everybody on the line and stuff like that. And by the time we get into our topic, time goes by so fast,
Right.
So but we are gonna try to push it through. Again, I want to apologize to everybody. I thought that we were trying to. I don't know. I thought that I had my situation taken care of with my stuff, and it wasn't. So it was kind of weird, but it is what it is. Shout out to Lovely. If it wasn't for Lovely, I wouldn't have known. I would have been on the show looking crazy tonight. Like, yo, what happened to my stuff? So, thank you very much, Lovely.
You're welcome, dude.
All right, we got the last person in. Cheryl, what's going on, Cheryl? Cheryl?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hey, Cheryl, how you doing? This is Deuce from C1 Music. You are in here with the panel, and we're going to get started with our topic for the night. As I put it on there, the link right there for everybody. Again, we're on the YouVersion network. Guys, please follow along. We are on Spreaker, and we are doing what we do. You know?
Okay.
Alright, so let's get started. My first question, and I think Grace, I'm gonna come to you, Grace, because you took a break from us last week.
Okay.
So we're
So I'll
coming to
do
you,
the
Grace.
opening.
Yeah, you're gonna open us up right. Tonight starts off the first section is the question. So I'm gonna ask you this question, and I want you to kind of kindly answer it honestly.
All
And
right.
it starts off: have you ever been in a situation where you was so desperate, you called to God and promised that if He got you out of a situation, you promised to do something for Him? Have you ever been in a situation like that?
Yeah, I did, and I was kind of, what do you call this? What reaction? Because this is something to do with my husband. All right. So that time when our marriage was not was very shaky, he was not calling me through text or phone. No text, no calls. So I already filed a non-support case against him. I brought it to his battalion commander, and everything was already done legally. So I was actually praying so hard. Okay, I was crying. I was wailing to God. I was praying, Lord. I said, I didn't give a time frame. I didn't give a time frame that if only my husband would call or text even once, then I would dismiss the case filed against him, and I promised to go to church every day, every Sunday. I mean, stuff like that. And you know what?
What?
It was kind of scary. It was kind of scary. It didn't took like 2 minutes or so. Just I think a minute, and the phone rang, and there was a message alert, not a phone call, a text alert, and it was my husband. He was saying, "Okay, let's talk. Let's do out of the court settlement for the case that I have filed against him." So it was kind of
Somebody has
shocking
to
for
turn,
me.
somebody has to turn their mic down. But, we're getting feedback. Please, if you are online on the live call, please try to use a headset so that we won't have the echoes in the background. We appreciate it. Go ahead, Grace, what you were saying?
So that was my desperate call to, and I would do anything that he has promised me to do, as long as I would just have that one request that I wanted. It happened. I mean, I made a vow, and I said, "Oh, I really have to do what I have promised to God."
Right.
It was a very quick answer. Very,
good.
very quick answer. Yeah.
That's good. Hey, Carn, what about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you were so desperate, you called to God and promised that if He got you out of a situation, you promised to do something for Him?
Yes, I did.
Carmen, you gotta speak up. I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
I guess. Guys, y'all can hear her good?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I was in a situation before, and it was with my late husband, and things were getting really crazy, and I was just crying out to God because I had done everything I could do in my power, and it was beyond me, and so I had to depend on Him. He put me in a situation where I had to step out of faith where only He could, so I could make decisions and help me make those decisions to make it right. And I promised that person things around to work this out. He worked it out, not the way that I had planned on Him working it out, but He worked it out, and I made sure that I held up to my end of the bargain.
Cool. So what was the end of the bargain that you had to hold your end of?
My end of the bargain was that I would stay committed to Him, that that I would continue to work with my husband and keep, telling him and showing him through my life how good God was, and eventually my husband would come around. Situation that I wanted to work out, it got taken care of. But I said I continued to do that no matter what, and I did.
All right, sure. I want to ask you: have you ever been in a situation where you called to God that if He got you out of a situation, you promised to do something for Him?
Yes, oftentimes it's all about my family. And I go to God, I pray, then I cling to His promises. Then after praying, I feel that I am relieved, and at the same time, I think that God is always there for me.
What was the promise that you made to God?
Pardon, sir?
Yeah, what promise did you make to God? What was that promise?
When God promises that He will always be with us up to the end.
Well, what did you promise God? What was it that on your end that you promised God that you would do?
Then I didn't leave any promises to God, but I said to myself that whatever the situation it is, I need to trust in Him.
Yeah, I want to know about a situation, guys, where you promised God that you were going to do something. Say like you was in the gym, like let's say you had a test that you was going to take, and you prayed to God that you would pass the test, and then you passed the test, and when you got out of the situation, you said, "Hey God, if I pass this test, I'll go to church every Sunday for a whole year." And I want to know if you was actually able to keep your promise. That's the type of example that I'm looking for. So I'm going to come to the professor. Professor, what about you?
Well, I'm going to answer this question in two parts. The first part, I'm going to say what I promised to God, and the second part is going to explain why I don't make promises no more.
Right.
The first part is, So I was a teenager. I was like almost it's actually like 12 years ago, and you know how teenagers are, just messing around, not sure what they're doing. And I was a Christian by then, but I was going through so much confusion. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So I thought I could promise God, "Hey, Lord, I don't like this confusion. I want to be Christian, so I promise to always stay faithful. I'm going to be this good guy 100% for the rest of my life." My goodness, was I wrong. And not too long after that, I found myself in the same situation that I would not call, a faithful person. I would not call myself a faithful person. So I figured, there's no way God is happy about this. So I'm just going to stop making promises. I'm just going to ask what I want. I'm not going to promise no more.
Listen, man, a lot of people do that too, man. I found myself doing that a few times, man, and it's like, man, that's not good.
I just stopped it. That wasn't the last time I did it, and I realized there's no way I'm going to be faithful, even on my promise.
Yeah, that's crazy. It happens to the best of us, though. It definitely happens to the best of us. I want to know, Lovely, what about you? Last person I want to ask this question to. What about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you promised God? Lovely? Lovely? I don't know. I don't know if she's there or not. Lovely. All right, maybe she dropped a call or something. I don't know. All right, that's fine. So, well, then again, let's ask Joy. What about you, Joy?
Actually, during my 5th grade, I suffered a dengue fever, and I am actually near to that. I still remember my situation during that time when I was lying on my bed and my home heart are bleeding, and I can see my mom crying. That time I already know that I'm on a stage 4 and anytime I can die. But the time I still know what is happening to me and what's going on around me. That's why I try to talk, and I try to talk to God and make a promise that if He gave me a second chance to live, I will give my life to Him. I will serve Him, worship Him, and I want to be with Him forever. Really, I want to spend my life only with Him. That's what I promised to Him.
So, are you keeping that promise?
Yes.
That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
That's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. All right. So that leads me to this question here. And that question is, how often do you think people keep their desperate promises to God? I want to ask Lovely. Are you back yet, Lovely?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How often do people in desperate situations keep their promises to God? Do they always keep it? Do they sometimes keep it? Or do they never keep it?
Yeah, and for me, I do all the time keep my promise to God.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah. I do, because
You must don't promise that much.
What?
I said you must don't promise him that much.
I do all the time.
Okay, go ahead though. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'll worship Him always, but I'm not a church goer, but I do worship Him always, anywhere, every time.
So you don't go to church, but you worship Him.
I'm not always go to church, but I do worship Him anywhere, anytime.
And let me ask, how do you worship Him anywhere, anytime? Like, what is it that you do when you worship Him anywhere, anytime?
I pray. I pray when I'm going to bed. I'll wake up in the morning, or when I pass any church. If I travel, I do worship.
Well, I encourage you to actually go to church and show, and show them that you want to fulfill your promise in that capacity. I think everybody should go to church.
Yeah, I started.
All right, cool.
I did last Saturday.
Oh, you went to church last Sunday? Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Then I went Saturday.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You should go every Sunday. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see here. I want to. Hey, you know what, Grace? I'm coming to you on this question here.
Yes.
How often do you think people keep their desperate promises to God? Always.
I think most of.
Never, or sometimes.
Okay. I think all the time when they're desperate, when people are desperate, and we don't have anyone to run to, we always go to God and make desperate promises.
But do we
and
keep
the problem
them? That's
is
the question.
how often do we keep?
The question is, how often do you keep your desperate promises to God?
I think sometimes.
Sometimes?
Only.
Okay.
Yeah. After you've made a vow, I think people do have the difficulty in keeping the promises that they made to God, especially if they're able to move on from the desperate situation or the trying moment. Then the tendency is to forget about the promise that was given to God.
Right, right. What about you, Tito?
Well,
And I know you I know you probably gonna answer it the way I would, so that's why I love having you on the show.
I'd say 9 out of 10 times people do not keep their promises, and that goes for 9 out of 10 people. I think.
All right. Why do you say that?
That's because it's going by human nature. I mean, we are just deceitful people. I mean, the first thing that comes across our minds most of the time is, how can I get out of a certain situation? And God is one of the most lenient people I know. And he's just going to let you go easy. And the first time you find that out, well, you kind of figure, oh, okay, that's how it is. All right, I'm going to promise next time. And then maybe I'll keep it, maybe I won't, you know?
Listen, man.
Well,
Listen. This is how I would answer that question. I would answer that question. I don't think anybody can say all the time. There is no way in the world that you can say desperate people keep their promises all the time. Mm-hmm. I believe that when you're in a desperate situation, you promise the world. You give the whole world away just to get out of that jam that you're in. And I think secondly, so you're not in a good state of mind to negotiate in the first place because you're desperate. But secondly, after you get out of the situation, it's the hardest thing to even keep a promise. And that's why you got to be careful what you promise. You can't say, God, I was serving for the rest of my life. That's a very bold statement. That's not an easily given statement that you can make on a promise like that. You know, because that means that from that day going forward, for everything that you do in your life, you will never do anything bad intentionally for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? That means that if you angry at somebody, you're still gonna love them regardless, and be be kind and gentle. Or if you say you're gonna go to church every Sunday, you're gonna go to church every single Sunday. Some people can't do it every single Sunday. You know what I mean? You should put forth your best effort.
That's correct.
So, as time goes by and you forget that you even made that promise, that's a hard promise to make. You can't. I would say people always make promises and start off with good intentions, but they never follow through on it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? They might have started off, but that's with everything in life. People always start off with good intentions, and as time goes by, that deal kind of comes irrelevant. You know what I mean? And so I would say that I personally believe that nobody can say all the time that they keep their promise to God. There's no way, in my personal opinion, I don't believe there's any way that you can 100% say that you promise God that you would do something, unless it's a one-time deal where you say, God, if you get me out of this jam, I promise to donate $100 next week. If you do something like that, then yeah. But if it's something that's an ongoing situation and you committed yourself to do it specifically for a lifetime, I don't see it happening, man. I don't believe that. But by all means, you can hit us with the line, God knows my heart, and you're surely right. And I personally believe that everybody has good intentions when desperate, But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Call a spade a spade. Now, I want to move on to the next question. And Cheryl, just out of curiosity, Cheryl, do you have any kids?
Pardon?
I said, do you have any kids, Cheryl?
Yes, I have.
All right, good. I want to start off this question with you. This question is called the toughest decision. If you couldn't keep your child for whatever reason, and you had to choose someone to take care of your child, who would be the ideal person in your life and why? This means who would you give your child to raise your kid for you? And why?
If in case I am going to die,
Whether it be you dying, whether it be you financially couldn't take care of your kid for whatever reason, your kid had to live with somebody else. Whatever the circumstances is. Who would you choose for your kid to live with? And why?
to my parents.
With your parents?
Yes, of course. Because I do believe that they will rear the child of mine just like the way they reared me when I was still young. And at the same time, I know that my parents are Christians and they will take care of my child.
Okay. What about you, Joy? If you had a child, who would you choose to take care of your child if you couldn't, and why?
Yep.
Joy? Joy? Is Joy there? No, Joy's not here. Okay. Let's see. Grace. Come, Grace.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright. Actually, this question, this happened to me already.
Oh yeah.
I have a story to tell about this. Yeah, when me and my husband decided to live separate lives, it was actually me who walked away from him, took my children with me.
Okay.
He had a stable job. I was jobless. I am based in Leyte, so that's a province in the Philippines. So when the call center or the BPO industry boomed in the Philippines, so I think I said to myself, this is the time for me to start moving on, start working. So I decided way back 2006, July 2006, I went to Manila, the capital of the Philippines. I left my children, because there are two of them, my son and my daughter, under the care of my parents, because that time my mother was already a retired teacher. So I was miles away from them. I entrusted my children under the care of my parents, and that took me 3 years. I worked in Manila for 3 years, and my children were with my parents. And by God's help, they were able to rear the children very well, of course.
Cool,
and I'm so happy and grateful to my parents for the help.
Cool. All right, now Joy, I'm coming to you now with the same question. If you had a child, and for whatever reason you wasn't able to raise your child or take care of your child, who would be the ideal person in your life that you would allow your child to stay with, and why?
I think I'd rather choose my parents to pass that obligation of mine with my son, because they are my parents and I know they can give love and affection to my son, and they can provide what will be my son needs. They are my parents, so I know they will treat my son well as what they did to me.
Okay. Do you have a son now?
No, not one.
I was just asking.
Yes.
All right. Let me get one more opinion, and obviously, Tito, I'm gonna pick on you since you're the only male along with me on this call. What about you?
Well, I trust my family a lot. You know, I have 3 sisters and a brother, and a mom. Well, that'll be the first choice. But you know, you don't want to burden anyone, so I'd be in a pickle if there was no one else to pick from. You know.
Right.
So yeah.
So
So I'd
definitely
go with my mom.
you'll go with your mom. So everybody said their parents.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, well, check this out then. We are going to dive into 1 Samuel chapter 1. So I want everybody to turn there. We're going to go to a music break, and then we're going to get into this. Now, this is a topic that I spoke about or did a while ago on the show, maybe like 1 or 2 times, that I want to bring it back. One, because I know it. 2, because I was prepared for the show, and then I wasn't prepared for the show. But thanks to Lovely, she kind of helped me get prepared again. So I had to come up with a topic off the top of the head, and I figured that this would be an interesting show. Plus, I have a few fans. Shout outs to Fran, who said that she likes to talk about relationships she likes when we talk about relationships on the radio station. So this would be an interesting dynamic conversation for her, and hopefully she enjoys this particular topic. And yeah, let's have fun. So we're going to get into some music real quick, and we're going to make it happen. Alright, C1Music.FM, if you're familiar, definitely check us out. If you want to call in, the number is 805-399-1200, and that participation code is 105431#. We are on the YouVersion network, and please get your Bibles out. Turn to 1 Samuel chapter 1, and we'll be back after this brief moment of music. C1Music.FM, the familiar. Get at your boy.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM.
Hey, yo, Sorrells, man. You remember back in the day when men used to appreciate their women? Well, I guess that was a little bit before our time, but anyway, man, let's appreciate these virtuous women that the Lord gave to us. We call them dime pieces because they live at a 10. Yeah. Live at a 10, girl. Live at a 10, girl. Live at a 10, girl. Yeah. And you're my dime piece. My perfect love, a reflection of His grace, I thank God above. You speak the words of joy, you walk the path of peace. Sometimes I wonder how the beauty deals with the beast. You love His word, girl, we sanctify each other, and I enjoy your company, we see more than lovers. I know we struggle, girl, sometimes this fight's hard. We got the right perspective, because we love God. I saw you wash your feet, and you're a true dime. You got a servant's heart, that's all you caught my eye. Each moment's like a walk in the clouds. As she walks with the Lord, your boy stands real proud. You understand commitment until the day we die. We gon' glorify the Lord until we touch the sky. And do your thing, girl. Yeah, yeah. And do your thing, girl. Here we go. And you're my Proverbs 31, girl. Yeah. Girl, let's demonstrate His love to the world. Do it.
Be an Ephesians 5 type of man.
Okay, and let's demonstrate His love to the land. And you're my Proverbs 31, girl. Girl, let's demonstrate His love to the world. Do it. And do your thing, love.
You do your thing,
okay,
love.
we do our thing, love.
We do our thing,
yes, we
love.
will. It's not about how you fulfill my needs. I know only God can fulfill those things. Around the city gates, they know me cause of you. They ask me how I pulled it off, I don't have a clue. You're like the full moon, pure as the sun. Queens praise you, and you're my perfect one. The sisterhood respects you, you got a sweet fragrance. You got a reputation known for making God famous. And demonstrate His order while we're on the earth. And you submit while I love you like you love the church. And keep it 100 and expect nothing. I got accountability, so I'm not fronting. And these ain't empty words, girl, yeah, they mean something. And keep our hands to the plow until the Lord's coming. And do your thing, girl. Yeah. And do your thing, girl. Yeah. Do it. And you're my Proverbs 31, girl. Let's demonstrate His love to the world. Okay.
Be an Ephesians 5 type of man.
I try to be that. Let's demonstrate His love to the land. Okay. And you're my Proverbs 31, girl. Let's demonstrate His love to the world. And do your thing, love.
You do your thing, love.
We do our thing, love. Together. And do your thing, girl.
I do my thing, boy.
And do your thing, girl.
I do my thing, boy.
And do your thing, love.
I do my thing, baby.
We do our thing, love. Listen to ourselves.
Hey, yo, hold up. I ain't finished, though.
I'll be your kingsman, redeemer, you can be my Ruth. We run this race together, we're always seeking truth. You got a beauty that's adorned by your inner gleam. You don't eat the king's meat, you ain't impressed with things. A role model to the kids in the city life. You're worth more than a pearl, you belong to Christ. And raising godly seeds and teach them godly things. Like how to keep love pure and do godly deeds. And I've matured now, but I was so dumb. I was selfish with love, I was so young. I got the spirit now, yeah, I'm sewn up. And by His grace I know a wife and a daughter's love. And a son too, we'll teach our son too. Be a leader, don't do what the fools do. I do my thing, love, you do your thing, love. We'll do our thing, love, let's do our thing, love.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM. Unfamiliar.
Know who I am. your friend. I am accepted. I know who I am. I am secure. I'm confident that I am loved. I know who I am. I am alive. I am set free. I belong to you. You belong to me. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. Sing it again. I know who I am. Know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. And you are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are mine. You are mine. Jesus, you are
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm. Unfamiliar.
We search for you, Lord. We seek you. Yeah, it's your boy Deuce. We definitely in a building. C1Music.fm. The Familiar. We are in here with the panel talking about 1 Samuel chapter 1. Does everybody in my panel and everybody that's calling in, do y'all have it tonight?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. Now again, everybody, this is a topic that I did on C1 Music. So if I have some faithful listeners that listened to my show before, you guys know that I did talk about this before. Again, I think that it's always a good topic of conversation, especially when talking to new people on the radio. And it's interesting. So we should have an interesting conversation tonight. And I want to burn my last hour with you guys on this particular topic. So I have my information ready to go. And I'm here for y'all. Let's go. And let's get it in. So everybody has 1 Samuel chapter 1. Now, just by chance, let's see. Calm. I'm gonna ask you this question. Can you just give us a little synopsis of what goes on? Just some background. I don't know if anybody here not with the story. Let me ask that first. Is everybody familiar with the story?
No.
I am familiar.
Familiar?
I am familiar too.
Alright, Lovely, are you familiar with the story? Lovely, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. You hear me?
Are you familiar with the story?
I'm not familiar.
Alright, so cool. So, Carm, why don't you just give them a little synopsis if you don't mind? I think you were on the last time we had this show and this topic. I believe you were online with us. So if you don't mind, just trying to expound on it just as much as you possibly can before I start reading.
Okay. Basically, Hannah is the favored wife, as you will, of Alcan, not sure how to say that. And he also has another wife, and the other wife keeps having children. And Hannah can't have children. And she's told her husband, and he's basically saying that I love you regardless. And in this time, one of women's most important roles was to have children, especially male children. And so she goes before Eli. She's crying and crying, and he accuses her of being drunk. She's not drunk. She is just really crying out to God, wanting to be able to produce a child. So Eli blesses her, and she tells God that I'm going to give my child back to you. You bless me with a child, I'll bring my child back to you. And she basically does it without talking to her husband first. She makes this oath. Well, at this time, if you're married, then if you make an oath, if your husband made it, and as soon as he's made aware of it, he can nullify your oath. Well, he didn't nullify her oath, and she kept her word to God. She gave her son back.
I think she was determined to give her son to God regardless if her husband nullified it or not. But that's for a different topic of discussion. But word is born. I appreciate you, Carl, for breaking that whole situation down as you were on point. Therefore, let's get into it, guys. That was pretty much a synopsis of it. Everybody who knows me again knows that I like to read from the Holman Christian Standard or the ESV version of the Bible. I have both of them in front of me right now with my study notes. Let's get busy with it and try to get this going. So I am going to read from the Holman Christian Standard tonight, guys. Alrighty?
Yes.
Alright, let's get into it. So the Bible starts off by saying, verse 1, again, 1 Samuel chapter 1, follow us, find your Bibles here, and we're going to dive into it. Let me paint this picture for y'all. So there was a man from Ramathaim, Zophim, in the hill country of Ephraim. His name was Elkanah. We're going to say Elkanah or Elkanah, however you guys want to pronounce it. I'm going to say Elkanah for tonight. Alright? So his name was Elkanah, son of Jeroham, son of Elihu, son of Tuhu, son of Zuf, and Ephraim. Alright, verse 2. He had two wives. First named Hannah, and the second named Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah was childless. Okay? So I want to paint this picture for you guys now. We got a guy named Elkanah who had two wives. One was Hannah and one was Peninnah. Peninnah had children. Hannah had no children at all. Alright? So I want y'all to understand this. Keep this in your mind. We have Elkanah, who has two wives. One had children, one did not have children. Verse 3. This man will go up from his town every year to worship and to sacrifice to the Lord of hosts at Shiloh, where Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, I don't know if I'm saying that, pronouncing that correctly, but we're going to go with that. We're going to say H and P. H and P, alright? Eli's two sons, H and P, were the Lord's priests. Okay, now I'm going to stop right there again. For everybody who don't know who Eli's two sons were, they were wicked in God's eyes, alright? So, you guys have to read a little bit further in the chapter to understand, or not chapter, but read a little bit further in the Bible, and you will see that God was not happy with Hophni and Phinehas as the priests, and this is what someone leads them into going to the way of picking a king. sons and daughters. But he gave double portion to Hannah, for he loved her, even though the Lord had kept her from conceiving. Alright, so we have here that every time Eli would go give an offering, he would give food to Peninnah and to her sons and daughters. And then Hannah would give Eli would give double portion. Elkanah, give double portion to Hannah because he loved her. And it seemed like he showed a little bit more favoritism to Hannah. He really loved her more so than he loved Peninnah. From what we're getting of how it is described here in the book. Alright? Verse 6. Her rival would taunt her severely just to provoke her because the Lord had kept Hannah from conceiving. So, we have here, so far, just to summarize this, we have Elkanah, who has 2 wives, Peninnah and Hannah. They would go up to the temple in Shiloh to sacrifice, and every time they offer a sacrifice, when they would go, Elkanah would give his second wife Peninnah and her sons and daughters meat, but he would give Hannah, who had no sons and daughters, double portion of meat, although she didn't have. So each year, when they go, the wife Peninnah, who's jealous at the fact that Hannah's getting that double portion, would taunt her. She would taunt her and say, hey, you don't have any kids, ha ha ha, so on and so forth, and pretty much taunt her to get her mad. All right. Verse 8 says Hannah. Verse 8 says Hannah. Why are you crying? Her husband Elkanah asks. Why won't you eat? Why are you troubled? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? Now, I'm looking at this. Hannah will cry because she didn't have any children, and she was being taunted by Peninnah. All right. Y'all got everybody following me here now?
Yep.
All right. So, verse 9. Hannah got up after they ate and drank at Shiloh. Eli the priest was sitting on a chair by the doorpost of the Lord's tabernacle. Alright? We're going to stop right there. I want to stop right there for a minute, and I want to dive into what just took place prior to her going into the temple. Alright, so, Grace, I'm going to ask you first, Grace. As if you was in Hannah's position and you were getting picked on by your sister wife who has children every year, why would you choose to still go? Even though you were getting double portion, why would you go? What would be your reason for going?
Going to the top.
To sacrifice to the Lord, even though you get ridiculed and boo-hoo crying each and every year. It's the same thing that goes on year after year after year. Why continue to go with her if you know she's going to pick on you and make you cry?
Such a hard question. All right, because Hannah, if I would still go because, for one, I love my husband. All right, so you have already decided to live with him. So you have to live with whatever is the situation you are in. You have to adjust with the situation, bear with the chiding or whatever you call the thing that Peninnah was doing to Hannah. Because I have that faith that my all-knowing God knows what is happening to me, and in due time, He will provide all my needs and see my sufferings.
Okay.
still be justified at the
Okay, but in the meantime, Grace, I'm going to pick on you for a minute.
Okay.
All right. So you said your husband loves you, and obviously the Bible says that because Elkanah, because of his love for her. Now you can read that in many different ways. In verse 5, he gave a double portion for his love for her. So, and because God kept her from conceiving, so he knew that she was sad. So because he loved her, it could also mean because he loved her and wanted her to feel happy, he gave her double portion. It doesn't necessarily mean that he loved her more or loved her less than Peninnah. In my personal opinion, it reads here, he gave a double portion. You really don't know the intent of why he gave her double portion. I take it that he gave her double portion to make her happy because she was sad at that particular point in time.
Yeah.
However,
that's right.
Grace, I want to point this to you. How do you feel about Elkanah's question that he asked her? Now, he knows every year she goes up there. She cries every year. She gets picked on every year. Right? And you said you will consistently go because of your love for your husband, even though you getting ridiculed and picked on by his wife. Now, my question to you is, how do you feel about his question that he asked when he said in verse 8, Hannah, why are you crying? Well, obviously he knows why she's crying, because she's getting picked on. But he asked the question anyway, why won't you eat? Why are you troubled? Now, these are all, to me, idiotic questions, because he actually knows why you're mad or why you're upset, right? He actually knows this because this happens every year. But the question that I'm asking you is, how do you feel about his insensitive question to you? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? Now, that means that he knew why you was crying, because he asked the question. He knew that you're crying because you can't have kids. But he's saying, listen, am I not better than 10 sons? Like, you got me. Stop crying. Now,
all right.
Explain that to me. Is that love?
Yeah, it's still love, but men generally, I don't know, this is my personal opinion. Men generally, if not oftentimes, they're insensitive to the feelings of their women. Okay? I, for one, could attest to that.
Every year?
So, yeah. Yeah, so
I don't know, man. I'm sticking up for men. I'm not buying that. Not every year. One time, yeah, maybe. 2 times, possibly. 3 times, I can't. Every year, insensitive. To me, that's a question that you ask, knowing that, yo, listen, man. Like, he's not asking that question out of being sensitive. He's asking that question out of, like, yo, get a grip. Yo, I gave you food you're not eating. I gave you food you're not eating. Why are you troubled? We go through this every year. That's how he asking him. We go through this every year. Get a grip. Am I not better than 10 sons?
I think he was just trying to make Hannah realize that, or comforting her that way, though you cannot actually feel. I mean, the message that he was trying to get through to Hannah is that, hey, I'm still here. Though I understand that, I don't know, I think he is not aware that for a woman, that is our ultimate, for me, that's the ultimate womanhood. If you are able to bear a child. Okay? So I had that fear as well when I was still, because I didn't get pregnant right away when I got married. It took us a year. I was having the problem as well. What if I will not get pregnant and my husband will be able to impregnate another woman? So that was my fear. So here I can see that the husband Elkanah was just trying to assure Hannah that, yeah, I know we don't have a child, you were not able to bear my child, but I'm still here. Isn't that enough?
I don't know, man. I don't know if let me hear somebody else. Cheryl, what do you think, Cheryl? Is that a statement where he's showing it out of sympathy, out of love? Or is it one of those questions like, yo, man, get a grip? Like, I mean, you're not eating, you trouble? Like, what's up? We go through this every year. How you think he meant it? Cheryl? Cheryl?
Yes, hello?
Yeah, I'm asking you the question.
Yes, what is it? What? Pardon the question?
You killing me right now. I gotta repeat the whole question again.
I'm sorry, there is a problem in my connection.
Alright. Again, the question is, how do you feel about... Did you hear what we even talking about?
Partly.
I can't come to you on this question. Let's see it. Let me ask you. You know what? Let me ask the professor. The professor is a guy. He kind of understands. So, professor, tell me. What do you think? Did he mean it in a loving, passionate way? Did he mean it in a I'm sorry that you're feeling this way, and he's kind of a little bit naive, like how Grace is trying to make it, or is he like, yo, get a grip? Am I not better than 10 sons?
I think it's O'Connor, right? I think he had no interest in why she was crying. He just wanted her to stop. From the questions that you see, why are you crying? Why won't you eat? Why are you troubled? Am I not better? You know,
right.
he was thinking about himself right here. Am I not better? You know. So I don't see no love here, man.
I don't see it either, man. I don't know.
There you go, man.
I don't know. Let me see. Con, what do you think, Con?
I don't think he's trying to be sensitive to her needs. Basically, he's saying you can't have children, but yet I give you a double portion. There's no reason to cry. I'm here for you. So, you should be happy that you're getting this from me. You're getting more than my other wife, and she has kids. So,
right.
You're good.
Right. What about you, Joy? What you think?
For me, the reason why Elkanah asked Hannah that kind of question is because he just still want make Hannah feel that even they don't have sons, his love for her will still remain. And
oh man, so you talking the same way Grace is talking. You and Grace is like, oh, I still love you, baby. Don't cry. That's what it is?
Yeah, for you guys, what it is.
I agree with Tito 100%. I agree with Tito 100%, man. It's more like, that's my personal opinion. Hold on. Lovely, is it love?
No, it's just one way of comforting Hannah.
I can't hear you, Lovely. You gotta speak up.
Hello?
Yeah, what did you say?
You hear me? Yeah, for me, it's one way of comforting Hannah to stop breathing, to stop crying. Just like...
I can't hear you, Lovely. You gotta speak up a little bit more.
Okay. For me, it's like comforting Hannah to stop breathing or to stop crying. Just like a baby who's crying and the mother gives candy. That's what's my opinion.
So you're trying to shut her up. When a baby's crying, you give him candy because you're trying to shut him up.
Hey.
Like, yeah, look, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, man. Cut it out. It's not that time now. All right, so I understand that. So, all right, so right now I got just about everybody except for Grace and Joy that's saying that. Man, it's like, yo, grip. Basically, Joy is saying that this guy is naive. He doesn't know how to show his love for her. Let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Alright, so I'm going to go to verse 9. Verse 9 says, Hannah got up after they ate and drank. So obviously she did eat. She did eat. Regardless of how his question is, she did go eat. She ate a double portion, and she drank at Shiloh. Eli, the priest, was sitting on a chair by the doorpost of the Lord's tabernacle. Deeply hurt, Hannah prayed to the Lord and wept with many tears, making a vow. Making a vow means she made a promise out of desperation, obviously, because keep in mind, she's hurt, she's in pain, she's getting picked on, her husband is on her like, listen, man, get a grip. You know? She goes to pray to the Lord, like, I had enough. Alright? So while she's in there praying, let's go to verse 11. Making a vow, she pleaded, Lord of hosts, if you would take notice of your servant's afflictions. Affliction. Now Tito.
Yeah.
What's her affliction? What's the affliction that she's going through?
I think the biggest problem right here is that she believes she cannot have a child.
But affliction means that you will cast it like a disease or something.
Maybe at that time it was equivalent to a disease, you know? I mean, a woman who can't have children was probably shunned more than someone who had leprosy. I don't know. That's what it looks like here.
All right, I want to read that in another version of the Bible. I just want to make sure the words that, we're interpreting this correctly.
All
right, so I have here in my ESV version, it says, and she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant and remember me not, forget your servant, but will give your servant a son, and I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and a razor shall touch his, and no razor shall touch his head. So this lady believes that she is having a affliction.
Right.
So she's going through right now. I'm getting picked on. Like, I'm really, she's out of desperation. If you believe you're going through some type of affliction year after year, I don't know what type of affliction she thought she had. But she did make a deal now, guys. Now listen, she made a deal to God. She said, God, if you give me a son, I'll give him to you. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a beautiful commitment. What do you guys think?
That's right. Can I say something?
No. But go ahead.
All right, so I can see here that Hannah had good reasons to feel discouraged and bitter because, for one, she wasn't able to bear a child. Okay, so though years back when a woman is barren, so that's a very big issue compared today. So she also shared she is sharing her husband with another woman who continues to ridicule her. So that's something that is. Oh yeah, though her husband.
She goes year after year because of her husband's love. Remember, ain't that what you said?
Yeah, that is correct. But
go ahead.
But it's really hard being in that situation, sharing a husband with another woman and then having no child. But we can see here that in spite of all the hardship, the pain that Hannah was going through, what she did was the best so far. So she brought all her problem to God. She prayed. Okay, she put her hope in the Lord by not giving up. Okay, so I think she did the best thing.
She did the best thing?
Right. By not giving up hope, by not giving up the possibility that by God's grace, she could bear a child.
All right, now, Joy. Let me ask you this question: is she wrong for coming to God and asking God to make a deal with Him that she's going to give her son to Him?
For me, not. For me, no. I think it's not. It's actually because for me as a child, for me as a teen, I mean that I still have the thought that as a woman, I want to bear a child just to feel like actually children can also make women feel great or happy, and it can also like remove all the sadness that Hannah's feeling.
Okay.
I mean that.
Now I'm gonna ask you this question, Tito.
Yeah.
Because most women talk the way Joy talks. Joy says, "Listen, I'm having a baby. The baby be the love of my life, and if I want to give it to God, I'm going to give it to God." I have no quarrels with that, but I do have a quarrel with, and I want to ask you if you feel the same way. All right, men are supposed to be the head of their households. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Your wife goes without consulting with you and automatically says, "Lord, I'm going to give my son that I'm going to have to you." Is she wrong for making that commitment? Or is she not wrong because she don't have a child yet?
Both of those questions have a positive response to them.
Okay.
But it depends on how you look at it. I choose to look at it from the perspective that she just wanted to prove that she is not barren. I mean, I do not see a reason why she should be crying and stuff. I mean, she has a husband way before Christ was born who loves her. I think that was a rare thing. And, okay, loves. Let's just say love for the sake of argument. And she can't have, and she just wants to prove she can't have a child. Because, you know what, the reason why I'm saying this is because she promised to give the child to the Lord. I mean, how do you go and do that? I mean, how would a woman give up a child just like that?
But to the Lord, why not? Why not give your child to the Lord? I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with giving your child to the Lord.
What does that mean? I mean, how do you give your child to take it to the priests? I mean, we all know that they're human and stuff. I mean, how would you even come to that decision? You know? I mean, I don't know. I would ask the panelists to probably tell us whether they are able to give their children over to the Lord, you know, like soon after they give birth and stuff.
But my question is, why wouldn't a female want to give their child to the Lord? Hey, Carm, why wouldn't you want to give your child to the Lord? What would be a reason why you wouldn't want to do that?
As it is today, personally, I can dedicate my child to the Lord, but giving my child away and saying, okay, you're going to go stay in some monastery somewhere, that would be hard for me. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to raise my child.
You went past what I was asking you, but I understand because you was on our last episode. Let me ask this to Grace.
Yeah.
If you made this deal with God, when I give birth, I'm going to give my child to you. How would you go about giving your child to the Lord?
Oh, it's really, really hard, but I mean, it's so hard. My God, because
it's hard about it.
The fact that
I'm asking you, how would you give your child to the Lord? Hello? Grace? Did we lose Grace? Grace, did we lose you? I don't know. I think we lost Grace. Hopefully she messages back. Get back on. Alright, so Joy, what about you, Joy? How would you give your child to the Lord?
Well, it's really hard to give up your son to the priest, but I think just for the sake of my... Oh.
You would give your child to a priest?
Yeah, I mean to the Lord. Well, it's but for the sake of my children, I will do it for the sake of my son, because I know that they can be I'm sorry, a good child for the future, and it can all just for the sake of my son, I can do it.
All right. Let's see what happens here. So we was on what verse we was on? We're on verse 12, right, y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on verse 12. While she continued praying in the Lord's presence, Eli washed her lips. Hannah was praying silently, and though her lips were moving, her voice would not be heard. Eli thought she was drunk and scolded her. How long are you going to be drunk? Get rid of your wine. No, my lord, Hannah replied. I am a woman with a broken heart, and I haven't had any wine or beer. I have been pouring out my heart before the Lord. Don't think of me as a wicked woman. I've been praying from depth of my anguish and resentment. So verse 17 says, Eli responded, go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant the petition you requested from him. Alright? Alright, so we see here that she prayed. Eli seen her. She must have been really going in on her prayer. Like really praying hard, like going hard, crying, boo-hoo, crying, everything. I would like to know where her husband was at all this time. Because she was really in an emotional mess. You know what I mean? She's not eating and going crazy, and he got to come up to her, and then she just disappears, into the church, to the point where she boo-hoo crying, and the priest is like, yo, why you drunk? You know what I mean? Where was her husband? Like, why wasn't he like, yo, go getting his wife, and like, yo, where my wife at? She wilding out right now. What you think? What you guys think? What do you think, Carm? Where was he? He was in Panetta. He was chilling with Panetta that night.
I don't necessarily think that, but I mean, once you do go ahead and give your sacrifices, maybe there were some other rituals or something that he was doing.
So he was with Panetta doing the rituals while she was in the church crying?
Yeah, I didn't say that,
but that's what I mean. That's what it is, though, ain't it?
I mean, he could have been doing some other type of... They had all these different types of rituals and things that you had to do. So
he probably was doing the bed ritual while she was in there praying. Him and Panina, huh?
I guess.
Possibly, because I don't see where he would have been at where she was boohoo crying and he can't, go find out he was just talking to her.
Well, he was just talking to her, so he probably just let her vent.
And then she just disappears. She's hysterical crying. She's an emotional mess.
Well, if she does that every year and he's telling her, hey, I'm better than 10 sons, he's probably like, I done told you to stop crying. I'm going to let you go in your little corner. You do this every year. I'm going to give you your time. He's probably on like that.
I hear that. All right, so let's look at verse 19. It says, the next morning, Elkanah and Hannah got up early to bow and worship before the Lord. Afterward, they returned home to Ramah. Then Elkanah was intimate with his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So we see here that Elkanah, while he was at the trip, he got righteous with Peninnah while Hannah was in the church. And then when they got back from the trip, he got righteous with Hannah. And left Peninnah with the kids. My man. But here the good book says that Elkanah was intimate with his wife Hannah, and the Lord remembered her. So, after verse 20 says, after some time, Hannah conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, because she said, I requested him from the Lord. Verse 21, when Elkanah and all his household went up to make an annual sacrifice and vowed his offering to the Lord, Hannah did not go, and explained to her husband, after the child is weaned, I'll take him to appear to the Lord's presence and stay there permanently. Pause. Put on the brakes. Alright? Now, I gotta ask you this question, Professor.
Yeah.
Last year you went to the sacrifice, you know?
Uh-huh.
You was boo-hoo crying. You did a silent prayer on your own. At this particular time, Elkanah don't even know nothing about the prayer or anything that went down, right?
Yeah.
Alright. You come back home. He gets it in with her. She gets pregnant. She has the baby. A year done went past. He's about to go back to the joint. She says, listen, I'm not going. We just had a baby. I don't want to take the baby up there yet. He's not weaned yet. As a husband, I'm pretty sure you like, cool. Me and Peninnah and my other sons and daughters will go. You stay here with little Sammy. You know what I mean? And when Sammy ready to go, and we all can go, we'll go to the priest and we can pay our offerings and do our due diligence. But then she goes on and say, yeah, and when we get up there next year, I'm leaving them there. Permanently. Now, bro, what do you mean you leaving them up there? I mean, you have to. This not your decision. This your son. Right? She's telling you, hey, yeah. I'm leaving them up there. Are you cool with that?
First off, I think you asked me this question before and I didn't answer it. And no, I would not be cool with it. And I mean, how did you go make that decision? Because that is yours and my son. So
exactly.
You cannot make that decision. I don't even know how the Lord got involved in this.
What you mean you don't know how the Lord got involved in it? He got involved with it at the church when she was praying.
Yeah, but God knows the importance of human interaction and you know being faithful to your husband and all that. It's all in the Word. I mean, how is this even sanctionable? I mean, did the Lord make Elkanah to be okay with it? I mean, it's okay, Hannah, go ahead, give our son away. I don't care. I mean, is that what it was? I don't know.
Is that love, man? I mean, you tell me. Grace, is that love, Grace? Grace.
Yeah.
Grace still not with us?
Back on.
She's not with us. All right. Lovely, is that love? Hey, Lovely, is that love, Lovely?
Hello?
Yeah, is that love?
Oh, wait. I got this connected, so I need it here.
Yeah, I can't really hear you that well. I don't know. You got to work on your connection. You got to work on your connection. But, all right, well, Calm. Is that love, Calm?
I would say no, that's not all love. You made this vow without me. This is our child. And and I were her husband, then I would go ahead and use my right, would probably invoke my right to say, hey, I'm making this null and void. I would just told about it, or at least sit down and talk about it and consider my option to avoid it. You just can't go making a decision of this magnitude without me. And this is the child that you wanted for so long, we'd have to talk about it.
Yeah, man.
Unless God gave me a revelation to go ahead and do this.
Right. I don't know. Joy, what do you think, Joy? You just gonna tell your husband that, hey, I'm giving my son away and that's it? Joy? I don't know what's going on with you guys today. You guys are silent on me today. Are you there, Joy? Joy? She's not with us neither. Alright, so I guess it's just us on here. I don't know where everybody's at. They're dropping out for internet connection issues. So, alright. I'm asking you again. So, Carm, you saying that it's not love, and would you have made that deal with God and not convene with your husband first? Okay, Carmen's not online now. What's going on with everybody?
I don't know, but can you hear me?
I can hear you, bruh. I don't know. Everybody's dropping out of the call for some odd reason. All right, we have Lovely in the building. All right, here go Calm. All right, Calm, are you there?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know what happened. You dropped out the call. Are you able to? So would you be able to give your child away to the priest like that without consulting with your husband because you made a promise to God?
I would like to say if I made a promise, I would, but honestly, I don't think I could. That would be very hard for me. And I don't know, I probably want my husband to step in and say, oh, I'll go ahead and void this so that we can keep our child. I've been wanting a child for so long.
So why would you hold out for so long to tell him? Like when you found out you got pregnant, why wouldn't you tell him then? Listen, when this child is born, I'm giving this child away to God and I'm taking him to the priest. And he could have null and voided it then. Why wait until he about to leave and then he's like, oh, I'm not going. I take him up there next year and we leave him there.
I think she wanted to tell him at a time where he really didn't have time to sit there and argue with her about it. I mean, they're traveling by what? Foot and camel, horse, or whatever. It takes a long time to get where you have to be. So there was not time for a long, drawn-out conversation about this. Kind of like, I told you this and hit you with a bomb, and when you come back, we'll hash it out.
Nah, man, that's not going down like that, man. I'm sorry, man. I can't. Nobody's going to be negotiating my son away without me having a conversation and having a voice in that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me, Tito?
Yeah, man.
You ain't just going to be negotiating my kid. Listen, God got to...
Promise or no promise, I go back with that child. There's no way we're leaving it there. No way.
Word. Now, the interesting thing about it, Tito.
Yeah.
And this is how I felt, right? Mm-hmm. Now, this is how I personally felt. Now, I think God had his hand in the situation, all right? Mm-hmm. Hear me out on this. God had his hand in this situation. So, I can't get mad at the situation because God had his hand in it. However, I am mad at the two parents, Hannah and Elkanah. I'm mad at Elkanah for not stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, you don't make decisions without me. If you read the story, Elkanah's cool. He like, yeah, all right, cool. He tells her in verse 23, her husband Elkanah replied, do what you think is best and stay here until you've weaned him. May the Lord confirm your word. So Hannah stayed here and nursed her son until she weaned him. And verse 24 says, when she had weaned him, she took him with her to Shiloh, as well as a 3-year-old bull, half a bushel of flour, a jar of wine. And though the boy was still young, she took him to the Lord's house at Shiloh. And verse 25 says, then they slaughtered the bull and brought the boy to Eli. Please, my Lord, she said, as you live, my Lord, I am the woman who stood here beside you, praying to the Lord. I prayed for this boy, and since the Lord gave me what I asked him for, I now give you the boy to the Lord. For as long as he lives, he is given to the Lord. And he bowed and worshiped to the Lord there. Now, that's the end of the reading. My question, though, is, as I told y'all before, Eli himself had 2 sons who were wicked in God's eyes. And this is the priest. So you got a priest that has 2 sons that wicked in God's eyes. I mean, totally wicked. That's doing everybody dirty, taking their money, everything. And Eli is the top priest, and he's doing nothing about it. To me, he's a bad father. If you don't discipline your own kids, why would you leave your son with this priest who doesn't discipline his own kids? Mm-hmm. So she goes and leaves her son with this priest who has 2 sons that are doing wrong in God's eyes. Is that good parenting? I'm asking you, Tito, is that good parenting?
No. By any standard. No way.
Now, again, I can't. God makes miracles out of situations that shouldn't be. Alright? I'm not mad at the fact that she made a deal with God and she kept her word. I am mad at the fact that she made a deal with God without consulting with her husband. I'm mad at her husband at the fact that when he found out she made a deal, he was just like, yeah, do what's best. Didn't even care. You got a little baby. And you like, give him away. Who cares? I mean, I don't know if he's saying who cares, but give him away. Do his best. I mean, like, talk to me, yo. I don't know. Lovely, what's up?
Yeah.
I mean, is that right?
For me, it's not. They're like, I don't care thing about their son. Being weaned. Hi?
Yeah, what you say?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
For me, it's not that good.
It's not that good.
It's like, it's like I don't care thing about their son. For me, it's so hard to devote yourself to your children. Even though I don't have one right now, but it's hard. I can't do that.
I feel you.
Yeah. Hello?
And so Carm, do you think he should have stepped up and said something?
I think he definitely should have stepped up and said something, and I'm sure they had to have known that Eli's sons weren't doing what they're supposed to, but Eli's sons were grown at that time. You can't tell grown people what to do. However, he could have used his authority to take them out of the priesthood, to make them step down if they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. I'm going to leave my child with someone I know who's irresponsible.
Right.
I don't know that you're going to protect my child and train them the way they should go when you can do that for your own. or you wouldn't.
True.
I would need God to tell me, it's okay, Carletta, Carm, go ahead and send this child on, and you'll be fine. Your child will be blessed. You'd have to reassure me. I'm thinking, I know what I said, but, there's other men of God. He wasn't the only priest. She could have sent him somewhere else.
Right, I agree. She could have made a different type of commitment, too. She could have just said, Lord, I pray over him. I'm teaching the ways of your will and everything. Like, saying you want to give him to the priest that can't raise his own kids right is, to me, bogus. And if you want to give him to a priest, give him to a different priest. Why that priest? Why do he have to go to that priest? The one that can't raise his own kids. Tell me that, Tito.
This whole situation is all wrong. And like I said, I don't know how the Lord got involved in this. Maybe he had some weird plan going on. Because here's a guy. Here's a man who can't even take care of his own children, and you go and leave your own young child with him. I mean, you just weaned him. I mean, that doesn't sound like very old. It's probably 3 or 2 or something. I mean, man.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's not a good look. So for everyone who, nobody on, Tito, you don't have kids, do you?
No.
What message can you give to men listening to this episode tonight?
Yeah, I'd say you better be concerned when your wife starts crying and find out what's going down. Because she might go and give your child away, man.
Hey, man, you ain't never lied, man. If your girl boo-hoo crying hysterically over and over again, let that be a warning sign, man. She may negotiate the house away, man.
That she can.
You know what I mean? Don't leave it in the hands. No offense to the ladies, don't leave it in the hands of a woman, man. She'll negotiate. She'll negotiate your life away, man.
And get the Lord involved in it too.
Talking about it's the Lord's will. You can't give my son away. I'm sorry, man. But all right, Carm. What would you like to say? What would be the inspirational words you would give to women listening to the show?
When you make a vow before God, make sure this is something that you're willing to keep.
She definitely was willing to keep a vow.
And be careful what you say. It's not just you making this decision; it affects other people too.
I kind of wasn't affected by it at all. But I totally agree with what you're saying. But I kind of did not seem like it. You should have been. Lovely, what you think, Lovely? What would be the advice you would give?
Okay, to the woman who is strictly praying to have a child, be sure that you're responsible of your vow to the Lord, and please do keep your promise and keep it real.
Keep it real? Yeah. I agree. I think, listen, for everybody, listen, man. You know, if you read the story along, you see that she gave her son away. Ultimately, she was able to have more and more children, and she had the final laugh at Penina. But my beef in this story is, please don't negotiate out of desperation. You know, for women, don't negotiate out of emotional standpoint and state. You know, you may negotiate something that you may not want to do. Secondly, and that goes for men and women, but secondly, men, you gotta take responsibility of the situation, man. You got to. You cannot be like Elkanah and be like, hey, give him away. Listen, I understand that she was doing the Lord's will. Nobody can argue that. And ultimately, it worked out. The whole situation worked out. God had his hand in it. But I think God, if it would have went a different way, God would have had his hand in it in a different way. You know? I think that Samuel was anointed by God, and he was God chosen. But it could have went down a totally different way. You know? Ultimately, guys, I want to thank you guys for being able to join in on the call today. I hope that this story, you guys will try to identify yourselves with a character in here, in this story. And I hope that, this can help somebody out. You know what I mean? If you got kids, go take care of your kids, man. From a guy perspective, take care of your kids, man. If you got a girlfriend and she talking crazy and she getting all hysterical, you might want to sit down and listen to her. You may want to just sit down. She acting crazy, you might want to actually have that conversation. Have a heart-to-heart with her and see what she's talking about, man. And if she's talking crazy, you might want to get out of Dodge. And if she's talking sense, you need to make that work. And, just listen, man. Put God first out of everything you guys do and say, And if you're going to make deals with God, make sure you can keep them. That's very important. Other than that, don't make a deal with God that you can't keep. You'll learn the hard way. All right, ladies and gents, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. It's your boy Deuce. We definitely in the building, C1Music.FM, the familiar. Hey, man, any last words from any one of y'all? You want to give a shout out to anybody? I can't hear you. You gotta speak up a little bit.
Yes, I want to give a shout out to my papa. Thank you. I love you. Bye.
That's what you do. Pop. That's what's up. Papa. Ah, okay. What about you, Carm? You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Everybody, stay prayed up. Thank God.
What about you, Tito?
Just to holler to all people who are listening in. Thank you for tuning. Thanks to the panel. And this is a shout out from East Africa. Thanks, guys.
That's what it do. All right. On another note, guys.
Hey, I'm still here. Aaron.
Who's this?
Still lugging. It's great.
All right. What's going on, Grace?
Right. Okay, I was able to get in again. All right, I would like to make a shout out to my friends and my family who's listening right now or listening in that ignorance instead of for men is not a good excuse for sensitivity. That jealousy is not a good excuse for some bad behavior, and that God works in the middle of all our family messes or whatever situation we are in. God is in control. He takes care of everything. So.
Sounds good. That's what's up. All right. On that note, guys, I thank y'all so much for joining us. And, we signing out, man. C1Music.FM, the familiar. Get out your boy. We appreciate it. Peace, love, and happiness to all. And do the right thing. You know what I mean? C1Music.FM, the familiar. We signing out. Holla at your boy. Let's get it.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM, the familiar.
Let's get it. She's a Sarah, a Deborah, Priscilla, a Esther, in the wings of the Savior, so she'll be fly forever. So you and I becoming one is the new math. These others live for spring break, they got no class. She don't live off sight, she got that blind faith. And when we walk together, it's called a blind date. I don't play games, I took you off the sidelines. These other dudes are watchers, they just trying to buy time. We could be more, lady, we could be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. Clap, you make a brother wanna sing. Step, you make a brother wanna sing.
We can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. I remember when you caught my eyes, I was gazing. You were such a beautiful Portuguese creation. Hey, I can tell you son made no raisins. I was thinking we could be more like the Ravens. Couple years later, we best friends and partners. Playing on the same team, baby, two starters. This marriage is amazing, it's still getting better yet. And we can always be more, boo, never less.
Girl, you know I love you so much. You know I love you so much. This is more than love. This is more than love. You will never be us. You will never become us. See, girl, I know we're just friends. So we're just friends. But we can be more, lady. We can be more. We can be more, lady. We can be more.
Maybe we can be more. High yield investment. What's to lose if I'm in love with my best friend? Hurt and pain, we used to throw it in the bag. Christ will take our baggage and throw it in the trash. Let's be more. Move into Maryland. Go against the grain to the end. We'll be hand in hand. Family matters. So we can be the Winslows. We can beat Chicago. I could be that wind blow. I could be the quarterback. You could be the team that Brad Favre steeds. I will never leave. This a covenant. God will be our covering. Bind us in together. Way beyond our government.
You know I love you so much. You know I love you so much. This is more than love. This is more than love. You will never be us. You will never become us. See, girl, I know we're just friends. So we're just friends. But we can be more, lady. We can be more. We can be more, lady. We can be more.
I remember thinking back then, will your boy Flame ever meet him a friend? Wanna love Jesus and wanna hate sin. I was like, nah, that probably ain't God's will for him. So I stopped searching, plus I couldn't find one. I'm in a rough spot, looking for a diamond. I'm cool, God, for you, I'ma go hard. If you're looking for me, see my hand to the plow. But love came second like a nose guard. It made us all something, made a man go wow. Now, I'm married to my best friend. Crystal went and put that ring on my left hand.
You make a brother wanna sing. Step, you make a brother wanna sing. We can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more. Now look that lady in the eye. Now look that lady in the eye. Tell her we can be more, lady, we can be more. We can be more, lady, we can be more.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.FM.
What's good? Get your L's up. We're back at it again. You know your boy had to let the ladies speak, right? All my virtuous women. We're gonna go ahead and make this one the official ladies remix. We could be more, lady, we could be more. We could be more, lady, we could be more.
Let's be more than a one-hitter quitter. A one-night stand that gets blasted on Twitter. Let's show the world that real love can make it. With God on our side, every trial we can face it. We can outlast the test of time. You keep your virginity and I'll keep mine. Until the glorious day when we intertwine. As husband and wife, ain't no sin on our minds. Yo, we could be walking down the aisles, matching with the bands on our hands with a smile. Later down the line, chilling with our first child. Sitting back thinking like, man, this is wild. Peace in our relationship ain't nothing but a vow. Friends that are married having fun all the while. The world is like, we can show them the right way. No more child's play. Let me be your good thing. You'll be glad that you found me.
You know I love you so much. You know I love you so much. This is more than love. This is more than love. You will never be us. You will never become us. See, girl, I know we're just friends. So we're just friends. We can be more, lady. We can be more. We can be more, lady. We can be more.
Will you be my Ricky or Bobby, my new addition? I could be your candy girl and more good for nutrition. I'm a Proverbs 31, true to the heart. You a man of God for real, not just fronting apart. When we together and alone, you always protect our purity. Fort Knox on lock, kind of security. Heart never wondering, hands never traveling. Never felt your eyes mentally unraveling. My physical features, you my best friend for life. You a keeper, me all dressed in white. I'ma meet ya. Damn at the altar, spitting veils with the preacher.
Girl,
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.
Yeah. Awakened from my slumber by the thunder, lightning clapping. Raining on my window, painting, praying I make something happen. A preacher's prophecies never bothered me when I was younger. Sitting on my grandma's lap, and she cried, I often wondered, what was her tears for? Could it be for my grandfather? Or maybe she felt for me cause I see more of those cold tomorrows than she see. The world will up and turn on me cause the morals that she often spoke were meant for 1923. I fall asleep off in her arms. My song was spoken, the Lord is surely my shepherd. He lead me to the water, thought that often stuck with me. Amongst the wolves that run the streets, I hear paying dues and lose. I pray your angels come for me. A non-believer I never have and never could be. Lord, give me time to peep the signs I should see. Sipping got me feeling like a player, riding clean, bending corners, hoping I might find my savior on the curb. I rarely go to church, false prophets rocking Prada, so I rarely feel the word. Jezebel's lurking in the pews on the first. Preachers weaker than the deacon cause it's hard to fight the urge. It's hard to live and serve when you on the devil's turf. Sell your soul for the Lord with no sense of what it's worth. Don't get it twisted, I ain't no saint, I ain't no pastor. But praying just for cloudy days and natural disasters. Beware what comes after, bet you ain't for sure. I was warned that heaven ain't the only place to go. I'm doing what I can cause there really ain't much time. I leave this in the Lord's hands, I'm tired of crying. Forgive us for we know not what we do. Am I biased? I've been pious, put my nose up in the pews. Like Paul, I bear good news. They think I'm power bearing. My message sounds like death to these hearers as they perish. Scary to think we on the brink of death, but no one stops to look for answers on what happens next. Got a couple scriptures from my grandma, sayings from a preacher, but can't live out these standards that we heard it takes to reach them. But when I look at Jesus, he lived a life I couldn't. Suffer for my crimes so I wouldn't. I used to have to sneak into the movies cause I couldn't afford to pay. Explain to me how someone paid my way. When I hear Crit confessing, I respect them. Cause most of us be lying like our lives don't need perfecting. Nothing that we can muster, nothing that we can change. Admitting that we're imperfect, offending God with our games. Look, I'm just being honest, so don't take me for no lame. I seen it for myself, I'm a product of this thing. Now I found true religion, and it's not inside of denim. And them overpriced shades have never given us vision. Let's go.
You are now listening to the sounds of C1Music.fm.